Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into the fintech scene in the Philippines. Specifically, we're taking a close look at a lending platform called Skyro.ph.
Yes, Skyro. They're one of those platforms offering product loans, cash loans, really selling themselves on convenience. Fast processing is their big hook.
Exactly. So our mission today is, well, let's cut through the noise. Is Skyro legitimate? And maybe more importantly, what are the hidden details? What should you actually watch out for if you're considering using them?
Right. And with any financial service like this, the absolute first place to look is regulation. Always. And on that front, Skyro actually passes a pretty significant test. Our sources confirm they are fully registered with the Philippine SEC. That's the Securities and Exchange Commission there.
The main regulator.
The main one, yeah. And they display their license details openly on their site. That's something only, properly registered lenders have to do.
Okay, so that registration, that's a big green flag. It pulls them out of that sort of shadow lender category straight away.
Definitely. It's the baseline for legitimacy.
And we're seeing that reflected elsewhere too, right? Like third-party checks.
Yeah, SE Scam Advisor, for instance, rates Skyro.ph as average to good, which, for a digital lender, isn't bad. It suggests the site itself is generally seen as safe enough to use.
Yeah, I saw something interesting in a Philstar article about a partnership between Skyro and Clow and Pay.
Yes, that's significant. Partnerships like that, especially with payment services integrated into retail, they suggest a level of verification, integration into the established financial plumbing, if you like. That kind of thing requires vetting. It's not just a handshake deal.
So, okay, SEC registration, decent third-party ratings, industry partnerships. Looks pretty solid on the surface.
It does pass the basic compliance checks, but, the marketing pitch versus the reality on the ground, that's where we need to dig in.
Right. Let's talk about the catches, the things you need to be aware of. Because even with those good signs, there were some, let's say, slightly odd technical things. Sam Advisor flagged that their website is hosted on a shared server.
Oh, right. That's not ideal.
Not really, no. For a financial platform handling sensitive data, you'd expect, or at least prefer, isolated hosting. Shared hosting feels like a cost-cutting move. Raises a few questions about, data security, separation.
Precisely. And it's interesting because that cost saving doesn't seem to trickle down to the user. In fact, quite the opposite. The biggest complaints we saw, looking at App Store reviews, comparison sites, it's consistently about the fees.
High fees.
Very high, apparently. Processing fees, service charges, deductions taken up front. Users are saying they feel heavy.
Which pushes the actual cost of the loan way up.
Right.
Far beyond what you might get from a traditional, maybe slower bank loan.
Exactly. You're essentially paying a hefty premium for that promised convenience and speed.
And speaking of speed, that promise doesn't always hold up either, does it?
No. That was another common theme in user feedback. Fast processing is the claim, but approvals can sometimes drag on for several days.
So you might be paying the high price for speed, but not actually getting it consistently. Bit of a mismatch there.
A definite mismatch. But perhaps the biggest risk, the one needing the loudest warning, isn't even about Skyro's direct operations, it's external.
You mean scammers?
Yes, impersonators. We saw reports, particularly on places like Facebook, of people pretending to be Skyro agents. And here's the critical part. They ask for down payments or fees before any loan is even approved, up front.
Okay, that's a huge red flag.
Huge. And we have to stress this is absolutely not Skyro's official process. Scammers are basically hijacking the legitimate Skyro brand name, because it has some recognition, and using it for phishing.
So the advice has to be, stick only to the official channels, the official app, the verified website, no side deals on social media.
Absolutely. If anyone asks you for money up front, especially someone you met randomly online claiming to be an agent, it's almost certainly a scam. Don't do it.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Where does this leave us with Skyro? It seems like, yes, they are a legitimate, legally registered company in the Philippines. They offer credit, which comes with convenience, but at a high cost.
Right. The main drawbacks are those high fees, the potentially slower than advertised processing times, and crucially, this external risk of impersonators. You have to be incredibly vigilant about who you are dealing with.
Which brings us to our final thought for you today. We put so much effort into checking if a company itself is legit, right? Registered, above board.
Standard due diligence.
But maybe the Skyro case shows us something else. Why is being just as careful, just as rigorous about the channel you use to communicate the app, the website, the verified contact method, why is that potentially just as critical as vetting the company itself?
Because even the most legitimate company can't protect you if you step outside their official channels and engage with a fraudster pretending to be them. That first point of contact, making sure it's the real deal, maybe that should be your absolute first check.